Welcome back, everyone. It's been 10 days since I've done an episode. Just had to take care of my own stuff for a while. You know, those who live in glass houses and yada, yada, yada. Just still taking care of things. But anyways, happy Easter weekend, everybody. It's Easter Monday. We're at the tail end of it. I hope you all enjoyed your Easter weekend. I have. It's not like it was growing up, but it is what it is. Just been quiet, not having traditional dinners, which I miss, but you know, such as it is. I'm not going hungry. I'm still fat. Just been enjoying quiet time, solemn time, reflection, enjoying some, as I have been for quite some time lately, daily devotionals with the Lord, and, see where that gets me. I am the worst excuse for a Christian, but I'm enjoying it. It's something that I focus on first thing in the day to try to lead my day, and we'll see where it goes, right? Anyways, I'm rambling, and I'll be honest with you, I'm really tired. This weekend, I've been in a lot of pain with broken back, sciatic, the shoulder, all this problems that I've had, not sleeping that night a whole lot, but woe is me. But anyways, got a lot to get to, a lot of videos to share. So I'm gonna try to not meander on like I do and get right to the substance of the show. But I just want to say one thing. I'm lost when it comes to flipping through the Bible. And one thing that has always helped me out is I just blew it. BibleGateway.com. They don't pay me to advertise. Just you type in whatever scripture passage, say it's John 3:16, you just type it in and it comes up. It's all right there. Man, I can't find anything in the Bible to save my life. So it's something that I used to use a long time ago when I used to go to church years ago, and it's something that I use daily now with my devotionals, and man, it's a time saver, it's a life saver, and it's great. So I'm gonna hit pause and bring up, my computer's screwing up. Okay, I'm back. Where did I go? Was I gone? Yes, I was. First things first. Swig of fake beer for all you hard-working folks out there that keep this country going. The PC Blonde is not on sale, but it's back up to like $14. So like you gotta get this stuff when it's half price. Anyways, first video up. This is for local people. I live in Brock Township in Ontario, Canada, and our mayor is Mike JUBB, and this is a video that he's posted. He's running for mayor again in 2026 election, and I want to post this video or share this video because in it he gives pretty much an update on everything that's going on in the township. So without further ado, I'm going to try and shut up a lot and have all these videos do their job.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mike JUBB here. As many of you may know, 2026 is a municipal election year. The election will take place on October 26th of this year. Lots of rumors starting around, getting lots of people reaching out, encourage me to continue in the position I am now, which is mayor. And after talking to Sarah, my wife, and my two boys, Caden and Colton, we have decided that I will be putting my name in for mayor for the Township of Brock for the next term from 2026 to 2030. We have so much work to do. The work done in the last, 6 to 7 years has just been phenomenal in Brock. The modernization of the organization continues. We've done very well on that front. There's still a little bit of work to do, but from where we first started many years ago, we've come a long way. At the regional level, I've only been there for 3 years. We brought back scheduled transit with the 618 route. On-demand continues to be challenging, but we are throwing resources at that service as well, combined with our scheduled service. And of course, the Durham Regional Police, we're at historic levels with our police. There's police cars literally everywhere now. They're doing a great job. Our EMS is back where it was. With the hospital offloads, lack of resources up here, we're now back to where we need to be. So when you call 911, you have the service there. Of course, our fire department fills in where needed there as well. On the municipal level, of course, we have the Sunderland Arena that will be ongoing into the fall. Huge project, again, a historic project for Brock. We have the McLeod Park Master Plan. We're throwing resources at that. We really want to see that take off. Of course, the pedestrian bridge was this year's big project that's still working on. We have the Beaverton Waterfront and Open Space Master Plan, a massive plan and project that requires lots of funding, but we're well off. We're well off with that program this year. We're doing very intensive new bathrooms, permanent brick and mortar bathrooms. That's our big project down at the harbor this year. Partnering with our Lions and other organizations. We did do the pavilion this year in Cannington and Beaverton. And our roads, I understand right now our roads are in rough shape, especially our back roads, our gravel roads, but we are throwing resources, again, historic amount into our roads for the 2026 budget for gravel, both construction and maintenance. We will see the fruits of that labor coming to fruition right shortly on that. We have our Brock Road Rehabilitation Master Plan, a 4-year, again, historic multi-million-dollar project to fix our hardtop roads that were never done right in the past, unfortunately. We're coming to the end of that program, and I guarantee we're just going to continue. So as you can see, we are on trajectory. We have plans. We just got to keep going. We have a great council right now. We have wonderful staff, both at the region and Township of Brock, and our plans are coming into place. We've never seen work in projects like this in Brock, and I need to be here as the head of council to continue this work, because we've done just so well. So I do look forward to your support. I wanted to give everybody the heads up. I have talked to family. Everyone's very supportive. The community seems very supportive. So I will be looking for your support. Much more details to follow. My name, I am booked in at 9 o'clock to put my name in on May 1st. So again, look forward to your support. And thank you so much, everybody, for your continued support and your support over the last 7 years. So one more term. Thank you.
Good luck, sir. Appreciate all the hard work you've been doing. Yeah, the roads around here, the hardtop roads, I guess they call it. Well, this one section by me on the highway here, they keep redoing it because they can't seem to get it right. I don't know why they keep doing it, but they keep redoing it. This next video, and I really want people to pay attention to what the Bank of Canada dude is saying here. I forget his name, and I don't care. He outlines so many negatives. So basically, they're not changing a thing on the interest rates. But just listen to all the negative reasons why they're not doing anything. It's so negative that our economy is in such a toilet. I'm not making this up. This is not made up numbers. This is the Bank of Canada dude. And I'm going to play it right now. Oh. I got to pause it. And we're back. I hate all these videos. I have to always adjust everything.
Today, the Governing Council maintained the policy rate at 2.25%, and we've held the policy rate at this level since October. The Canadian economy continues to face heightened uncertainty related to U.S. trade policy and geopolitical risks. Now the war in Iran has added a new layer of uncertainty. Its impact on the global and Canadian economies will depend on how long the conflict lasts and the extent to which it spreads across the Middle East. Inflation in Canada has been close to the 2% target for more than a year now. But as we've seen, the war in Iran is causing oil prices to move sharply higher, and this will push inflation up in the near term.
No shit.
Canada's economy is dealing with a lot, and we now face more volatility. The Bank of Canada's role is to be a source of stability. We're supporting economic activity while ensuring that a jump in energy prices doesn't turn into persistent inflation. So let me expand on what we've seen in the economy since we published our January monetary policy report and what we see ahead.
Listen carefully.
Recent data show the Canadian economy remains in excess supply and is growing slowly as it adjusts to U.S. tariffs and uncertainty. After growing 2.4% in the third quarter of last year, GDP shrank by 0.6% in the fourth quarter. This was weaker than we forecast at the time of the January MPR, but that's mainly because inventories were drawn down more than we expected. Domestic demand actually grew by 2.4% because of the strength in consumer and government spending, although housing was weak.
No shit.
Data received for early 2026 suggests the economy is expanding again, but at a slower pace than we had forecast in January. The labor market remains soft. The job gains we saw late last year were largely reversed in the first 2 months of 2026, and the unemployment rate rose to 6.7% in February. Recent trade data have been volatile, but they suggest growing weakness in exports. Inflation eased further to 1.8% in February, down from 2.3% in January. CPI inflation, excluding taxes, and measures of core inflation have also come down and are all now close to 2%. Food inflation, however, remains a problem. Food inflation slowed in February, but is still elevated. The recent sharp increase in global energy prices is causing higher prices at the pump, as we've all seen, and this will push inflation up in coming months. It's still too early to assess the impact of the war on growth in Canada. If higher oil prices are maintained, this will boost incomes from our energy exports. At the same time, higher oil prices squeeze consumers, leaving them with less income for everything else. Beyond the jump in energy prices, the war in Iran will affect households and businesses in other ways. Financial conditions have already tightened. Global bond yields are higher, stock markets are lower, and credit spreads are wider. Transportation bottlenecks caused by the effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz could also impact the supplies of other commodities, like fertilizer. In its monetary policy deliberations, Governing Council is considering both the most likely path for the economy and inflation and the risks to the outlook. Uncertainty is acute. Trade and geopolitical uncertainties remain, and the conflict in the Middle East has broadened the range of possible outcomes. Relative to our January forecast, risks to economic growth are tilted to the downside. Near-term growth looks weaker than expected, and the review of the Canada-United States-Mexico agreement is still a big unknown. At the same time, risks to inflation are tilted to the upside because of the sharp increase in energy prices. Economic weakness combined with rising inflation is a dilemma for central banks. Increasing interest rates to slow inflation could further weaken the economy. Easing interest rates to support growth risks pushing inflation well above target. Canada's outlook is further complicated by structural change, shifting trade relationships, the adoption of AI, and changes in demographics. With inflation close to target and the economy in excess supply, the risk that higher energy prices quickly spread to the prices of other goods and services looks contained. But the longer the conflict lasts and the wider it gets, the bigger the risks. Governing Council will look through the war's immediate impact on inflation, But if energy prices stay high, we will not let their effects broaden and become persistent inflation. Today, the Governing Council maintained the policy rate at 2.25%, and we've held the policy rate.
It doesn't sound good at all. Sounds pretty darn negative, doesn't it? Food prices have increased, and we've lost well over 100,000 jobs just in the first 2 months this year. Speaking of which, this was posted on Facebook today. 129,000 jobs lost in Canada between January and February, and Tim Hortons asks for an increase of foreign workers from 20% to 30% per franchise. And it goes on to say, I don't know about you, but franchises I've seen look 100% foreign. Pretty close anyways. I haven't honestly been to a Tim Hortons in a long time. I just stopped going. It's ridiculous. I can't bear to not stand in line, wait in line in the drive-through while people order all kinds of sandwiches and BS, and then all I want is a coffee. It's not that they need foreign employees, they just refuse to hire Canadians or our youth. Stop supporting franchises that don't support us. Actually, these companies that hire the foreign employees, they get money from the government. They get a subsidy from the government to hire the foreign employees. So they don't pay them as much out of their pocket because the government subsidizes it. And if you don't believe me, look into it for yourself. I'm not BSing you. And I'm back with the next article. Now, I don't know, I'm sure, unless you've been under a rock, you've heard about this Alto Rail high-speed thing. What a boondoggle. There's the word for it, boondoggle. So, Alto Rail is this high-speed crown corporation, high-speed rail crown corporation. So the feds in the province of Ontario are going to spend $90 billion of taxpayers, yours and mine and yours, money, to build this system from Toronto to Montreal. They're going to seize land along the way. Just, like, take it away. Goodbye. And, you know, like, okay. Our economy is in the toilet. People can't afford food. They can't afford mortgages. They can't afford rent. They can't afford gas. But let's spend $90 billion of taxpayers' money on a train. Are you for real? I mean, I've smoked some weird, funky stuff in my day, but I don't know what they're smoking. I gotta try some of that. So, like, that's our money. That's our money. So, if it's going to be profitable, then why doesn't, like, a private sector business investor build it? Why don't they make the money off it? And another question is why is the federal finance minister, what's his name, Francois Philippe Champagne, why is his wife, I got it written here, his wife, Anne-Marie Gaudet, why is she the vice president of environment for Alto Rail, for this Crown Corporation? Is this not a conflict of interest, or is this just straight up nepotism? I mean, like, he's the finance minister. They're paying for this. They're paying it with our money, and they're going to pay her wage. I don't. It just never stops. Good Lord. Now, next up, I've got some videos lined up for this next topic. So Stellantis is in talks to make Chinese EVs. You know how we're getting the 49,000 from China to flood our market? So Stellantis is in talks to make Chinese EVs at the idle Brampton plant. You'll see in the videos, at most this might create hundreds of jobs, but not bring back the 3,000 jobs that have been on hold since the end of 2023. Just in the last year, we've lost over 50,000 manufacturing jobs. And when it comes to the automotive industry, we were making approximately 2.5 million cars per year, and now we're down to half that. So, like, it's taking a hit, and then we're going to bring in these EVs from China, and who's buying them? I don't know. And we're going to start putting these together here. Anyways, I'm not going to explain it right, so that's why I'm going to go to these videos, and it'll explain it a lot better than this meathead here can do.
Reports say automaker Stellantis is looking at building Chinese electric vehicles at a Brampton plant. The idea is getting criticism from Ontario Premier Doug Ford and the union president. Greg Ross has more.
This assembly plant in Brampton is currently vacant. It's owned by the Stellantis Corporation. As first reported by Bloomberg, the company is discussing options with a partner in China to start assembling Chinese Leap motor EVs here.
It's completely unacceptable for our plant. That's not the answer.
Vito Beato is the president of Unifor Local 1285, which represents thousands of auto workers at this plant who are currently out of a job. He says the option Stellantis is reportedly considering would essentially mean bringing parts and vehicles, mostly manufactured in China, here to this plant to be completed.
It's a small fraction of what we normally do. It's a small fraction of what our auto industry has done for over 100 years.
He says thousands of workers would permanently be out of a job. The union says it wouldn't only be the thousands of workers that they represent here at this plant in Brampton that would be impacted by an agreement like this.
We're talking about a parts supplier base that would be decimated. We're talking about no paint shop. We're talking about no body shop. We're talking about no trades.
The federal government gave Stellantis hundreds of millions of dollars to retool this building with plans to start assembling Chrysler's Jeep Compass here. That plan changed when the U.S. government began imposing tariffs on Canadian-made vehicles last year. Stellantis has since moved the assembly of the Jeep Compass to a plant in Illinois.
We have a commitment with the company. We got a negotiated deal with the company that we both agreed upon, and that's what we're going to continue to push. And they have the same commitments with the provincial and federal government. This proposal, or this plan, is a far cry from that.
In an agreement with the federal government, Stellantis is obligated to keep the assembly plant in Brampton open until 2035. A representative from the automaker told CBC News they are actively evaluating future programs for Brampton with the objective to ensure that any investment decision is sustainable and a long-term commitment that supports workers and suppliers. Greg Ross, CBC News, Brampton.
Let's get some reaction now from someone who works at the plant. Vito Beato is president of Unifor Local 1285. That's the plant that represents workers at the Stellantis factory in Brampton. Vito, it's good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here. Thank you.
He was just
when you read these headlines and you heard Premier Ford talking about this, and he's upset, your union is calling this a grave concern, or at least you have grave concerns. Why?
So when you look at this article and this kitting proposal that everyone's talking about, it doesn't add up to what we're used to doing. Our Brampton Assembly Plant has 3,000 members and thousands of more in the parts supplier base. This kitting proposal would only employ 200-300 people, and at the same time, when you look at what we do as far as our auto industry concerned and our Brampton Assembly Plant, there would be no body shop, there would be no stamping facility, we wouldn't be painting anything, we wouldn't be welding anything, there would be no trades, the parts supplier base would be gone, even the dealerships would be affected. So this would decimate our auto industry and decimate how we do business out of the Brampton Assembly Plant, and that's not a good thing. It's unacceptable, and definitely have grave concern. This is not something that any government should be looking at or approving or thinking that it's a good idea.
Yeah. Important to say, this is, based on an article, the details are not, fleshed out in any way at this point, though, as I point out, it is already getting political reaction. So you and others are taking it very seriously, the idea that this is even a conversation that is happening. You talk about, you would anticipate, based on what you've read, this employing only 200 to 300 people. Talk to me about how many people are waiting to get back to work.
Yeah, like I said, our Brampton Assembly Plant employs 3,000 people. We've been idle since the end of 2023. We have been very successful in our time at Brampton. We are the bedrock of that community. Every model that we built has done well. We finished off building our muscle cars, the Challenger, Charger, and 300. And for the past 29 months now, we've been waiting to get back to work. Our members are concerned. Our members are worried. Our members want to get back to work and do what we do best and build cars, and that's 3,000 members. And we're ready to go. I mean, we've been idle for this long. Our plant has been retooling for the Jeep Compass, and that's what we're going to push the company to get us back to, because that's what we negotiated, not only with us, the union, but also with the provincial and federal governments. So we're ready to go. We got robots to stamp to the ground. We got stuff ready, and when we talk about building cars, that's what we want to do and know how we do that, and we do it well. So if we want to build cars, we can do it right now, and we should get to do that, and never mind this kitting stuff.
Yeah, so planned kit assembly, I just want to make sure that is well defined here. We're talking about parts being made elsewhere, comes in like a kit, and someone in Canada is then, if this were to be the case, just puts it together. From your standpoint, and I think I know the answer here, but quality-wise, do you feel like a car can be built at a high-quality level if it is done that way?
Listen, we can build high-quality cars the way we've been doing it for over 100 years and the way Brampton's been doing it. This proposal and this system decimates our industry, decimates our supplier base, decimates our members in the plant, won't allow us to stamp cars, won't allow us to paint cars, weld cars, you name it, our skilled trades. It takes away from workers, and it takes away what we do best, and that's build cars. This proposal doesn't do any of that. Yeah. It only employs 200-300 members, and it's like an IKEA system where you get a box and you put stuff together like a table. That's what this system is all about, and we can't do that. It's unacceptable.
It's bullshit.
Right, and so, but from a consumer point of view, what I'm asking is the car of equal quality?
I would say that if it's built here, it would be of good quality. When it comes from, overseas, there's definitely some questions there. But when you look at, what we want to do here and what we've been doing here, I mean, the government's got some work to do when you look at their auto strategy. We want to make sure that, and if we sell
labor camps, child labor,
here, you build here. And we want to make sure that the governments are looking at, Stellantis, a Ford, a GM, a Honda, a Toyota. These are the companies that build here and sell here, and we need government to protect those companies, because when they protect those companies, they're protecting us workers and making sure that we do what we do best and build the cars. And that's what's got to be at the forefront of this auto strategy, is workers and the easy slogan of, if you sell here, you got to build here.
Right. Take your point. What would you say to someone who says this is how things are going? Stellantis is a company that is looking to profit, and if they feel like this is the less or the more profitable way for them to go, that's how industry works. What's your response to that?
My response to that would be this. When we were building cars in Brampton, and we stopped building cars at the end of 2023, the company was doing very well, very, very well, and making some good money, had some good market share, and profits were coming out of the Brampton Assembly Plant like you wouldn't believe. And now, since then, and since our Brampton Assembly Plant hasn't been building cars, the company has taken a hit. The company's market share is taking a hit. Their stock is taking a hit. So I would say we can build quality and we can make money for the company if we just get back to work and do what we do best and build cars.
Vito Beato is president of Unifor Local 1285. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And we're back. Where was I? Was I gone? Yes, I was gone again. I had to get another PC blonde fake beer time. Cheers. I'm still on the Stellantis EV thing. What better way to put it? Thing. I got another video about it. See, this is why I put the videos on, because these guys are smarter than me and they know how to say the shit better than me. I just look better if I throw the videos on. Anyways, I just recently found this, I guess it's a podcast, this Jim Sec guy. I don't know, just come into my feed, I don't know. I hope they don't send me a cease and desist on sharing his podcast or whatever they do here. But these guys are obviously smarter than me. This is why I showed this shit. Here we go.
Flip-flop forward, back out. Which side of the fence is Ford on today? But he says,
Exactly.
Doug Ford says he would oppose any deal between Stellantis to build EVs in Canada if with China's Leap Motors, if it's just bringing in parts. Stellantis is in talks with Chinese
Spy cars.
Xinjiang Leap Motor Technologies about options of building EVs in Canada. In an article published on Wednesday, Bloomberg said people familiar with the matter stressed the talks are in an early stage, but could lead to the first Chinese auto investment in Canada since Mark Carney signed an agreement with President Xi, to allow Chinese EVs into Canada. And remember when it was? They came back and said, got a deal. No, it's just 49,000 EVs being shipped. And then we're not going to make them. We're not making any. And then all of a sudden we're making, you know what I mean? Like it was like complete chaos. And all of a sudden we're talking about making them. The U.S. has repeatedly warned Canada against working with China on autos, and Donald Trump threatening 100% tariff on Canadian goods. It's a clown circus. Flavio Volpe, head of the Canada's automotive parts manufacturer, warned that Canadians shouldn't settle for a bad deal. He added Chinese knockdown kits may be fine for Brazil, because that's what they got there. Go read the stories. But they aren't for hundreds of Canadian auto parts workers who are waiting for plants to reopen. If they're bringing kits over made in China, all that does is undermine every single auto worker. Yeah, Doug. We said that, Doug. We've been saying this forever. This EV mandate and this deal with China will decimate the auto sector in Canada. The biggest manufacturing sector in Canada will decimate it. And yet, still there with the tailpipe emissions, still there with all these EV mandates. We're going to show you the BC thing still all there. And yet Doug Ford, he goes from absolutely nothing to do with Chinese EVs to like, I'm in, after he has a chat with Mark Carney. Now he's out again. Which is it, Doug? Are you representing?
Oh, he said it. I'm dead against it. Are you? Today you are. What about next week? But also, who are we going to sell these cars to? Are we going to make these Chinese EVs in Brampton and then just consume them domestically? Is that the intent? Or are we going to try and sell them? Because obviously the Americans aren't going to have them.
Nope.
Democrat or Republican. They're both, they have the same opinion here. After all, it was Biden, wasn't it, who put on that massive EV tariff. So, on Chinese EVs. So we're not going to sell them to America. Who are we going to sell them to? Mexico? I mean, that's not much of a consumer market anyway, is it? I mean, Latin America in general isn't much of a consumer market. We're going to sell them to Europe? Why would that happen? Are we going to sell them back to China? Like, what's the logic here? The only way this could work is if the Americans wanted some, but they're definitely not going to have it. So,
They might not even let them cross the border. Like if you're driving one, they may say that car doesn't come into the United States of America, period.
Yep. National security. You're out.
And Melanie Jolie has said, we don't care about the legacy automakers that they leave because we have Japanese automakers, Honda and Toyota. They ship like 90% of the cars to the U.S.
Yeah.
Melanie, did you ask that part? What they do with the cars that they manufacture here in Canada? Where do they ship them, Melanie? You can watch the show and we can tell you. They ship the majority of their cars that Toyota and Honda make so they can access the U.S. market, Melanie, just so you know. Canada can't buy enough of them, just so you know.
Idiot.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point of manufacturing in Canada right now. That's the business case, as Justin Trudeau would say. That is the business case. We make them in Canada. There's lots of energy. There's lots of like materials that you can use there to produce the cars. Labor is cheaper. And then because Canada's part of NAFTA, USMCA, whatever, we can sell it to the biggest consumer market in the world. Bob's your uncle. That's the plan. That's literally it. That is Canada's auto sector in a sentence, really.
Well,
and they're pretending like none of that's true.
Another one from Holly Doan. Drivers can buy any Canadian-made EV they like over $50K to qualify for the rebates. This sounds like a Ford thing. So as long as it's a Dodge Charger, record show. The Charger made in Windsor, Ontario will be the only eligible model by year's end under the terms of Prime Minister Mark Carney's program. The following makes and models are currently produced in Canada qualify for the incentives with no final transaction value cap. Dodge Charger, Chrysler Pacifica plug-in hybrid, and then Stellantis on January 9th announced it was halting production of the Pacifica model this year. The Prime Minister on February 5th announced terms of the new EV affordability program. Canada's new government is fundamentally transforming our economy from one reliant on a single trade partner to one that is stronger, more independent, and more resilient in global shocks. It means nothing. We're making strategic decisions and generational investments to build a stronger Canadian auto sector where Canadian workers build the cars of the future. Sell them to who? Most Canadians don't even want to buy an EV. Like, have you polled how many Canadians want to buy an EV? Have you done that? Because most Canadians don't want to buy them. If we can't sell them to the Americans, who shall we sell them to? Build them here to sell them back to China? Just wondering where this market is.
And they're also known. The whole point of BYD and the Chinese EVs is that they're, just to go back to China here, is that they're cheaper than the other ones. They're cheaper than their rivals. The only cars that are really shipped around overseas are things like Italian sports cars and like BMWs and things like that, because you get loads of money. The profit margin's huge because they have like status or whatever, prestige associated with them. Are you going to pack a cargo ship full of, $30,000 EVs and then send it over the Pacific Ocean? Like, who's going to make any money doing that?
Well, listen to the state broadcaster, the state propaganda arm for the Liberal Party, as they start pumping out positive Chinese EV stories. They can't even make this stuff up. They're talking about Chinese EVs, and all of a sudden, CBC does a pump you up Chinese EV story. Listen to this.
This is awesome. Watch this.
At this Shanghai service station, the attendants are robots. English teacher Tony Tsao doesn't plug in his EV to charge its battery. A robot trades his empty battery for a full one in the time it takes to grab a coffee.
That's enough. The pain is too much.
Isn't China cool, everybody?
Boy, I mean, that technology there is basically useless. I'll go out on a limb there and say that's never going to get adopted. It's dumb. The battery technology is evolving a lot faster, so it's just a dumb, unnecessary step. So there you go.
Even in China, it is. They have super fast charging in China. BYD does it, don't they? So yeah, weird.
It's just dumb. It's just absolutely dumb that CBC would pick that one to highlight as well. But hey, anything to pump you up. Like they said, Hans and Franz here to pump you up.
They're the corporate arm of the government.
Hans and Franz here to pump you up. Thank you for watching this clip of The Really Big Show. If you want to watch the full show, you can head over to our YouTube channel and you'll find it under our lives. And if you really want to find out more information of everywhere you can find us, go to thereallybigshow.ca, and there you can find links to all our channels. Thank you.
Okay, Norman, are you ready? I mean, Mr. Roper. I got 10 days to make up for. Hold on, get the right mouse right here. Coffee was just voted the best drink in the nation. It was an unfair vote because there was absentee ballots. Ooh, I like that one though. Let's see. Saw my doctor today. He said, "What's the problem?" I said, "I keep feeling like I'm an ocean." He said, "Can you be more specific?" I blew that. I need a boo button. Saw my doctor today. He said, "What's the problem?" I said, "I keep feeling like an ocean." He said, "Can you be more Pacific?" Alright. Maybe I have to give up doing this. This one made me laugh the other day. I don't know why. This is stupid. Probably because my wedding cake was not like this. Oh my goodness. Let me get this right. Okay. I went to a wedding last week. Everyone was emotional. Even the cake was in tears. I love that one. My first wedding, well, my only wedding that I ever had, was a pathetic cake. Oh my goodness. My ex did not want to spend money. Give her credit on that. She cut corners wherever she could. All we ended up was like this slab of fake cake with all these people, all these fake people standing on top of it. It was like all the groomsmen, all the bridesmaids and the bride and all that. It's like, it was the most pathetic looking cake. I don't even have a picture of it. I think it was so pathetic that nobody took a picture of that cake. It was just like, really? Anyways, what have we got? What do we got here? I better save some of these for the next podcast. If there is one. Sure, Alexander Graham Bell was great, but I'm more impressed with the work of his brother, Taco. Alright, I gotta find a good one. Hold on, we can't end it like that. Alright, last one. This is a good one. Get the Joe button ready. How do you make gold soup? Add 24 carrots. Oh, Helen. Oh boy, this sucked tonight. Hand them back. Look what I found. This is great. I wish I found this earlier. That's fantastic. I've got it on the screen there, and I got it on the screen there. Anyways, thank you for watching. I've got a special video at the end of this. I just want to say Thank you. Hit like, subscribe, leave some comments. Nobody's left any comments. I don't know if anybody likes any of this. But thank you for watching. Take care. God bless. And I don't know how to end this show because I can't get out of the screen. I can't get out of it to save my life. I paused it. There we go. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. This is why I'll never make money at this. Thank you again. God bless and all that jazz. Take care. And lastly, a special Easter message.
Prime Minister, Richard and Rachel, thank you for bringing us together in unity in the spirit of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. We are And thanks to all of you in this growing crowd. I remember the first time I attended this prayer breakfast with then my boss, the great Stockwell Day. There was about 300 people, and I think there was a commandment from the front of the room to go forth and multiply, and that was honored. Today, I think we have almost 2,000. And Prime Minister, I think it is very appropriate that you quoted Marcus Aurelius, although he wasn't much of a practicing Christian. Stoicism, no, is very appropriate because Stoicism and Christianity do share a common theme, which is to focus on what you can control and release all that you cannot. Ultimately, the Serenity Prayer is obviously a Christian prayer, but it is very much a Stoic one. God, grant me the courage to change the things I can, the serenity to accept the things I cannot, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now, all of you have now surrendered microphones to preachers, pastors, priests, and politicians, so now you have lost control of your entire daily schedule. But you should have known better than to let us all take the floor. Now, I am commanded by Richard to reflect on the theme of today's gathering, which is that you are not alone. Indeed, in this room, you're surely not alone. You are joined by people of various denominations and even faiths, all here to mutually support one another in our faith in Jesus Christ. And I am also commanded to bring you readings from Hebrew 12, 1 through 3. And that's what I will do. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off anything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. Being a very simple prairie boy, I am going to interpret those words for what they say. As I read them, Richard, this says, be on your best behavior because people are watching. Isn't that what it says?
That's pretty good. That will work.
And it says, throw off all that hinders and entangles. So I take this to mean that we as leaders are to live up to the highest possible standard. In our parliamentary system, for example, we as leaders are meant to tremble every time we walk into the House of Commons, knowing that we will be held to account by our fellow parliamentarians, not out of vengeance or out of meanness, rather, but out of our determination to hold ourselves to the highest possible standards for the people who are witnessing us, the people we serve, the common people. That is what I interpret it to mean. But Richard has informed me that that is not the end of the story, because it is not only the people on earth that are watching. The term great cloud of witnesses suggests that there are many watching from above, that those who came before us, who went through this journey of life, who were tempted by sin and faced the frailties of humanity, went on to paradise with their Lord and Savior, and they are all cheering us on. They're looking down upon us with our challenges, our shortcomings, and our many determined efforts. And they're hoping that we will come through and follow the example that has been set forth by our Savior. So the reading goes on. And let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. He took joy in the suffering and the sacrifice that he would make on all of our behalf. And therein lies the perfect symmetry of Christianity. There needed to be justice for all the sins of the world. Somehow, those wrongs need to be righted. We, as frail humans, were incapable of righting it ourselves. And therefore, the Master of the universe gave us his Son, and he righted those wrongs on all of our behalf. He took on his body and his physical sensations all of the brutality and the beatings that paid the price for all the wrongdoing we all have had. And so, in our frailty and our failings, in our joys and in our tragedies, we are not alone. We have with us a mighty Savior who gives us strength, Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you.
Wow. I had to put that on pause. That was good on you, Poilievre. Good on you. And way to say it right in front of Carney sitting there, as he and his cronies just made the Bible illegal.